Hello, and welcome to tonight's magic show, where everything can happen. I'm Armando Farias, and I'll be your host tonight. It's okay? For my first trick, I'm gonna use this simple jacket. Nothing here, nothing there. I'm gonna appear a vector right in front of your eyes. 1, 2, 3. Whoa, right here. Okay, so I'm gonna have my friend Rachel talk about it.
So today we're going to talk about what is a vector. A vector is an arthropod such as ticks or mosquitoes or any vertebrate such as a snail that can transmit infectious agents by depositing the infective material into or near the host. What is an example of an infectious disease that are transmitted through a vector? We have Lyme disease, Rocky Mountain spotted fever, and Zika virus. There are two different ways for a vector to transmit something to a host, and that is biological transmission. The vector is needed for the infectious disease to develop. And then we have mechanical transmission is when the insect contracts the infectious agent with its legs or mouth and it carries it to the host. And these things could be like a mosquito or a fly.
Thank you for the process. I'm gonna charge that much. Okay, so for my next trick, I'm gonna appear an epidemiologic triangle right in front of you. I first have to analyze all the energy. Whoa, impressive, right? Okay, now I'm gonna have my friend Amy talk about it.
Okay, this is our epidemiological triangle. It's what is required for transmission of communicable diseases. We have our host, which could be human or animals. We have our agent, which could be parasitic, viral, bacterial, or fungal. We have our environment, which are external factors that we can do to avoid communicable diseases. And we have our vectors, which carry the diseases. Our host, of course, animal, physical. Our agents live inside what could be an environmental. They could be physical, biological, social, or cultural factors. These have to facilitate transmission. They could be unclean sewer water that people are drinking. They could be protection against the vectors, which could be mosquito nets or repellents. It could be making sure you don't have standing water around your house so they can't lay the eggs, the mosquitoes. They could be the repellents that we give our animals so ticks don't multiply in your home, fleas and ticks. They could be hand washing or making sure you're washing your utensils after you cook raw meats or vegetables. These are all transmissions of bacterial. They could be the social distancing with our coronavirus. Now these are things that we can do as humans, washing hands to make sure that we're not transmitting diseases to other people. As far as the agents go, they have factors themselves which make them communicable diseases. These are characteristics. Infectivity is the ability to enter and multiply in a host. Pathogenicity, which is the clinical reaction after transmission. The virulence, which is the ability to produce a pathogenic reaction in the host. It's the invasiveness, the ability to penetrate and to spread through the tissues. The antigenicity, the ability to stimulate an immunological response within the host.
Thank you. Oh, you're awesome. Thank you. Whoa. You thought that was the last trick? Nah, I have more tricks under my sleeve. Actually, I have a TV under my sleeve. Now I'm gonna have my friend Cassandra talk about it.
Hi, my name's Cassandra and I'm here to talk to you about tuberculosis. It is a potentially serious infectious bacterial disease that mainly affects the lungs, and the most effective tuberculin skin test is called the Mantoux test. So this is where a small needle is injected into your arm under the skin, and some harmless testing fluid called tuberculin is injected. And then the reaction is read within 48 to 72 hours after injection to indicate if the results are positive or negative. A negative result is if there's no bump at the spot where the fluid was injected. And what does a positive Mantoux test indicate? A positive results indicate exposure to the disease, but this may or may not have the active disease. So there are two phases of TB. There's phase 1 and phase 2. So in phase 1, it is the latent phase, and this is where the TB germs are asleep in your body. So you don't feel any symptoms and you can't spread this to other people. And in phase 2, it's the active stage, and this is where the germs are active and spreading, and you usually do feel symptoms, and the doctor will do special tests to find where the TB is harming your body. And you can easily spread this by coughing, sneezing, talking, anything like that if the TB is found in your lungs.
Thank you. No, you're the greatest now. Thank you. Okay, audience. So, for my next trick, I'm gonna have. Wait, hold on. I have something on my feet. Hold on. What is this? Whoa! It's a nursing surveillance actions. Oh my gosh! I'm gonna have my friend Christy talk about this. There you go, Christy.
Surveillance. So when nurses are conducting a surveillance, they gather the who, the what, and the where, and then all these elements come together and join to answer the why in the situation. So why would a nurse use active surveillance? Nurses would use active surveillance for cases when they're confronted with like a local school, when there's a GI upset outbreak in a local school. In this system, the nurse names the disease or the event and gather information about pre-existing cases, and then they try to determine the magnitude of the problem or how widespread it can occur. After doing all this, the resulting information is then released for effective planning, implementation, and evaluation for disease prevention and control programs.
Thank you. If you could leave the tips right there, it'll be fine. Okay, so for my last trick, I'm gonna make myself a nursing professor. Whoa! Hey, Professor Armando here. I came to talk to you about primary, secondary, and tertiary preventions. Okay, so we know that there's 3 levels of prevention. Primary prevention seeks to reduce the occurrence of diseases by preventing it before it happens. An example of this would be vaccines, hand washing, and patient teaching. Secondary prevention seeks to prevent the spread of diseases once it occurs. So once you have that disease, you want it to stop spreading it to other people. One good example that we have right now is that if you get diagnosed with COVID-19, you would want to self-isolate yourself to stop the spreading of the disease. Nurses perform much of the communicable disease surveillance and control work in this country, and they're often the ones that are responsible in reporting these cases so transmissions can be reduced. Tertiary prevention seeks to reduce the complications and disability, so that's the after of the disease. Examples of this would be like any kind of treatment, such as medicine and maybe rehab. For all preventions, you want to include the family to help develop a treatment plan and prevent the transmission of the disease. Effective control of communicable diseases require a multi-system approach. So the goals and examples of this system would be improving the person's resistance to infectious agents and other environmental hazards, such as improved hygiene, nutrition, physical exercise. Improve the safety of the environment and improve public health systems by increasing access and effectiveness of them. Thank you.